review Venom: The Last Dance, featuring me, Eating Brains. Ladies and gentlemen, I have seen Venom: The Last Dance. It is... I hate it when they put last in movie titles because box office revenue will always define whether it's The Last Dance, and I will admit that the box office revenue for this movie so far shows that it is indeed The Last Dance. But, we haven't seen the worldwide, so if you want to see another Tom Hardy Venom movie, definitely go see this. Let's just start it with that. Anyway, for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from 4Ocean. 4Ocean pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. I am giving you an opportunity to be a hero, like Venom. Comment, like, and subscribe. Help me save the world. Anyway, so, one kind of an issue I have with these movies in general is that they don't have a lot of coherence here. There are a few things that are just, tossed around. So this movie picks up sometime after Venom: Let There Be Carnage. The events of Let There Be Carnage have left Eddie on the run. He apparently has the ability to hop between dimensions so long as he's got Venom with him. So the after-credits scene of that movie had nothing to do with anything in this movie except for a throwaway part where he hops to a different dimension. Or is it back to his own dimension? This really brings up the question, if you can dimension hop and there are baddies after you, why don't you go to another dimension? Because that's what's happening in this film, is that there are people after Eddie Brock and Venom, and then there are monsters after Eddie Brock and Venom, and if they would just hop to another dimension, this movie would probably be very different. I mean, look, I understand that you're Venom and you're kind of the bad guy, but you could hop to a dimension where there are the Avengers and then, just go somewhere the Avengers would show up and let the monster get pwned by the Hulk. That could happen. It doesn't happen, but it could happen. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, look. Venom and Eddie have never truly resolve their relationship. And that is a key in this movie. It is not a big key. It's kind of a point that was just there. But it's a throwaway point that Eddie still has his regrets about Venom. And Venom is upset about his chickens being given away. You remember the chickens from the second movie, Laverne and Shirley. Chicken. Anyway. Walked out of this movie wanting chicken, you know that? So, the backstory, if you read the wiki, the backstory of the symbiotes is that they imprisoned an evil god, and that god wants out. So it's created some monsters that can let him out. And those monsters are pursuing Venom, as well as the United States military, who are for some reason decommissioning Area 51. An idiot wrote this. And why do I say that? Because Area 51 is a map location, not a military base. The military base at Area 51 has a different name. It's called something like the Happy Ranch or whatever it is. It's where we develop spy planes. But trust me on this one. If we have extraterrestrials, we're probably not researching them at Area 51. And further along those lines, if we do have... If this movie were real, and we knew extraterrestrials were in existence, and we were keeping the symbiotes at Area 51, there is absolutely no way we would be decommissioning that. We might be moving it for security reasons, but decommissioning would be a completely different thing. And, once again, we would be doing something with the area. There would be this movie is dumb in that particular way. No one is sneaking into the Area 51 facility because it is so heavily guarded. Even if it were being decommissioned, so long as there's still something there, you would not be able to get within 400 yards of the front gates without somebody saying, hey, what are you doing here? That's a real thing with Area 51. If you travel to that map location, you will find a base there, and people will come out and say, hey, you need to leave. That's how that works. Area 51 as a location is 100% real, and it's there on that's a map location, and there is a base there. Anyway, so look, if you were hoping for a hard R Venom film, this is not what you're going to get. There are a lot of Venom and other symbiotes showing up in here. There's a bunch of she symbiotes. There is, of course, from the trailer you saw, the symbiote horse, and there is even a symbiote frog. I will say that you have to stay to the end credit scene to see what's going on with this movie. There are things that are implied but not 100% certain, and they, of course, set up some kind of a sequel. There are a lot of problems with watching this movie and believing that the events happen the way you happen, because at this point, we've been given the information to know that things are different. And I don't want to elaborate on that because it's one of the things that our more intelligent movie viewers would pick up on. But obviously, Eddie died in one movie and Venom brought him back. So the possibility of Venom being brought back or Eddie being brought back is just something that stays on the table from now on. And the possibility of a crossover, I don't know if we're ever going to get to see this Venom with Spider-Man in an actual movie where they interact. But it's not looking too good with that for the moment because the box office numbers are too low. So look, this movie starts out okay. In the middle, it lags a bit. And in the end, it picks up. All right, there are a lot of things I would have liked to have seen in the middle that would have been more interesting. One of the things of this movie is they kind of nerf Venom, because Venom, when he goes into his full form, becomes the One Ring, and the monsters pursuing Venom become the Ring Wraiths. So when Venom becomes his full form, surrounding Eddie completely, the Ring Wraiths can see him and hone in on him, and that's a danger. But the only reason Venom ever has to completely engulf Eddie is to please the audience, because Eddie gets hurt, Venom can just fix him. He can send out tendrils and hit things and break stuff. He doesn't need to go into his full form to eat somebody's brain. That's a thing that Venom does. So there's a lot of things in this movie where it's like, okay, why doesn't Venom just do this? Or why doesn't Venom just do that? I don't even understand the thing from the trailer where Venom symbiotes with a horse, because it's like, you're Venom. Couldn't you just become two giant legs and stride across the desert like that? Because you're Venom. Do you have to keep Eddie intact? If he can die and you can bring him and you could resurrect him, as we saw happen in a movie, couldn't you just, fold them into paste or something and then slink through a sewer? You're a symbiote. You can move in ways that we can't see. The symbiote is kind of a liquid Terminator when you think about it. He's not as hard to kill as the liquid Terminator, I don't think. But there's that. And then the other problem with this movie is the you brought a gun to a monster fight problem. And it's like, we saw this in one of the Godzilla movies. There were a bunch of soldiers shooting machine guns at Godzilla. And you guys just have no clue how stupid that is. Why would you even waste bullets that you know aren't going to do any damage to the monster? There's no scene where they hey, shoot it in the eye, or its joints are vulnerable, or pop it in the mouth. There's none of those things. So there's this entire time that they're basically shooting bullets at the monsters, and the monsters are going, ha ha, I'm ignoring you and going after what I want. And you do know that these are specialized soldiers who are there to take care of Venom-y sort of things. So they would have weapons that would deal with Venom-y sort of things. They would have, they make 50 caliber small arms that it's like you fire it and it knocks you back. They have those things. And, it's like, okay, you might have troops that, they have a machine gun in case they encounter something that is machine gun-esque, but they would definitely have RPGs and other forms of launched grenades, and just they'd have something heavier to deal with that kind of a threat, because that's literally specialized as to what they do. All right, so if you can forgive those sort of shortcomings, and it's a comic book movie, it's kind of designed to be dumb. If you can forgive those kinds of shortcomings, then yeah, this is a perfectly serviceable film. I will even say it belongs in the upper middle of your watch list. It's fun. It's in theaters. It would probably be better if you enjoyed it with a beer or two. But I don't think you need a beer to enjoy this movie. At the last act, at least, it does get your heart pounding. It gets the job done. That's what this is. It's not a terrible movie. It's not a wonderful movie. It's a solid comic book film that's a lot better than many of the comic book films we see nowadays. So, that's my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. I, of course, am Richard.
Greetings, humans! Your old pal Randall here again, reminding you to comment, like, and subscribe. You see, I got my bracelets from Ferocian, and I got another medal from the Conqueror. Yeah, look at that, see? See? That's got an Easter Island head on it. Because if you can't afford to go to Easter Island, you can go and walk Easter Island virtually by going to the Conqueror. You could not screw up the environment by traveling to Easter Island. You could just get this, plant 5 trees, and then walk on your own and learn about Easter Island, because I send you postcards. And if you comment, like, and subscribe, you can help the guy that owns this channel buy things like this so he can plant trees, and buy bracelets like this from Ferocian so he can pull trash out of the ocean and make a better world for you. And it isn't going to cost you anything. So don't you have something to say? Shouldn't you in the comments down below say how grateful you are that this man has planted so many trees and pulled so much trash out of the ocean and did all those good things for you? No? Ungrateful human? I should eat your face!